My dearest Travelista, come on in here. I'm your host, Tyra Andre. Welcome to the podcast, hun. So, in this specific podcast, this episode, we are going to talk about our trip to New Orleans and everything that we did in New Orleans. So, for our New Orleans trip, I was fresh off my momcation from the Bahamas, and you guys, we had so much fun in New Orleans. My daughter could not go on my momcation with me because she's not vaccinated. But like literally, as soon as I got off the boat in Miami, I took a flight back home here in Tampa, Florida, and I had my sister bring my daughter to the airport. And so I had a whole nother bag in the trunk, a whole nother suitcase, and I just simply swapped suitcases. The whole plan was to try to have everything in one suitcase, but I weighed the suitcase and the suitcase was like 60 pounds. 61, 62 to be exact, 61 and some change. And so they would have rounded up to 62. So it was 62 pounds, you guys. 62 pounds, that's way too 62 pounds is way too heavy for the airlines. So I wound up having to switch bags and repack everything, New Orleans and the cruise, in two separate bags. So when my sister dropped her off, I just simply switched bags. We switched clothes because, it was colder in New Orleans. And so we did do that. But we landed in New Orleans and it was about 11 something, 12 o'clock at night. And we caught an Uber there. They didn't have any transportation that was that late at night. So Uber, Lyft, we did Uber. We caught an Uber to the hotel. And so we checked into the hotel. And the very first thing that I noticed was the vaccination notice, that if you wanted to visit any of the restaurants, you needed to have your vaccination card with you in order to even get in any of the restaurants. So I thought that was very good. And, vaccination is a personal choice. But, if you're going to have a bunch of people in a restaurant together with no mask, got to do something about that. And so that's what, the state of, that's what New Orleans, decided to mandate. So that was the first thing that I noticed. So we stayed at the New Orleans Marriott, and it was such a beautiful hotel. They gave us a view. They gave us a room that had a view of, I believe it was Canal Street. And so we got to see, it kind of sort of reminded me of New York, it really did. It gave me like New York feels with the amount of people and the amount of lights. It's kind of like a mixture, if you like combine New York and Las Vegas, together, like, how everything was. But we had an amazing time. And so that was day one. And then so on day two, we had a full schedule, you guys. So day two, I had a site inspection. So I got to visit Hotel Monteleone. It's a historic hotel, and it's a very beautiful hotel. So before the site inspection, we had breakfast at La Mesa. I think that's how I say it, La Mesa restaurant. And I had a chance to taste some shrimp. It was a omelet. It was a shrimp Creole omelet and some grits. And it was so delicious, you guys. It was so delicious. So shrimp Creole omelet and grits. And my daughter had a breakfast sandwich. And so she ate that. And so after that, like I said, we went on the site inspection and learned a lot about the resort. I posted those pictures online. You guys can go over and see those pictures. But we did do that. And then so after our site inspection, we kind of sort of wandered around New Orleans a little bit. And then later in the day, we had a carriage ride. And so it was a horse and carriage, and it was ran by Royal Carriages. And it was beautiful. It really was. We got a chance to visit all of the French Quarter and Jackson Square, and just, learn the history of the French Quarter and Jackson Square. A bunch of different facts about the history, I remember him telling us about the French Quarter, and with Hurricane Katrina, how the French Quarter really didn't flood. And I'm like, what? How all of New Orleans was flooded? They said the French Quarter did not flood, as bad as the rest of New Orleans. And you guys know that that's like literally right by the Mississippi River. So that was a shocker. So we learned about that and more New Orleans history, the different places and the different, history lessons that can be learned in New Orleans. It's amazing. I'm not sure if you guys are into spooky stuff, but we got to learn, you know, a few spooky stories about things that, you know, happened back in the days in the French Quarter. We got a chance to view Bourbon Street. That was a really interesting royal carriage ride and tour that we went on. And then so after that, we got a chance to visit Cafe Beignets, and I met Stephanie. I posted that video there. I did a video with Stephanie from Cafe Beignets, and we had a chance to taste beignets for the very first time. So I can say that I enjoyed that. So as I was saying about Cafe Beignets, we had a really nice time at Cafe Beignets, and Stephanie was amazing. The Canal Street restaurant was really, really cute. And then we got a chance to see the long line at Cafe du Monde. It was really, really, really long for some beignets. I did not stop there. And then so for dinner, we ate at a restaurant. I'm trying to think of the name of the restaurant. I will put the name of all of the restaurants in the chat. I'll put all of the name of the restaurants inside of the chat or either the description area, but I think it was like Masperos, Cafe Masperos or something like that. But many of you guys know that I don't eat meat, and my daughter, she loves, you know, chicken. She loves Popeyes, you guys. So we didn't get a chance to eat any Popeyes, but what we did do is stop at Cafe Masperos, and she had some red beans and rice, and she had some chicken, and then I had a shrimp po' boy, and it tastes very authentic. It was very good. So I did enjoy that. So that was that day. And then the very next day, we're only there for a few days. The very next day, we had a whole photo shoot, you guys. Like, we were super extra. We had our tutu skirts on. It was really, really cute. I'm not sure if you guys saw our pictures online or not, but we had a ball. We had so much fun taking those pictures. So all over the French Quarter, our photographer took us a bunch of different pictures. And that was an Airbnb experience. So we booked that through Airbnb Experiences. And if you guys want that link, of course, I'll put that in the description and the comments as well. But we had so much fun on this photo shoot. And then after the photo shoot, we for dinner, we took a Steamboat Cruise, you guys. Oh my gosh. We took the Steamboat Cruise. It was a little cold. I had to keep asking for hot water to try to warm me up. But the food on the Steamboat Cruise was really, really good. The salad was good. The soup was even better. And then I had some vegetarian options. And there's nothing that, you know, I have all good things to say about the Steamboat experience that we had in New Orleans. And so that was that day. And then on the very next day, we were trying to book plantation tickets to Alley Plantation online, but the website kept having a lot of issues. And so it turns out their website was down. Something happened with the website. And so I couldn't book any tickets online. And so I just kept trying. And then I called and she said, we're having the same issue. So, you know, me, I show up to the place anyways. I'm like, hey, can I purchase, you know, tickets here at the window? And the lady was like, well, I think we're sold out. I was like, well, you know, because she said, think. I'm like, well, are you sold out, or you guys aren't sure, you know, if you're sold out, you know, that, you know, the system's down, you can't tell. And she said, yes, the system's down and we can't really tell how many people we actually have. And I'm like, okay, so if I wait here and the bus comes, you know, can you guys, you know, see, you know, how many people you have on the boat, not the boat, when the bus comes, do you guys have, would you be able to see how much room you have on the bus? And, you know, if possible, can we still join? And she said, yeah. So the bus finally did come, and it took them a while to figure it out, but yes, they did have room on the boat, you guys. And so we were able to visit Alley Plantation, and oh my gosh, it's so picturesque. It's beautiful. It's a very beautiful plantation. We got to learn about the history of the owners there, Alley. Oak Alley Plantation. We didn't really get to learn about the history of the slaves there, but we did get a chance to see the slaves' houses and, you know, the slave areas. It was about six to eight different cottages that were, you know, left, you know, as is. And we did do that. When we do go back to New Orleans, we are going to visit the Whitney Plantation, because the Whitney Plantation, it gives you like a kind of sort of like a day in the life of how the slaves live versus seeing everything from the owner's perspective at the Oak Alley Plantation. And so as I said, Oak Alley is beautiful. We got to take a big house tour of the Oak Alley Plantation. And so we got to learn a lot about the owner and how the slaves that were inside of the house, you know, how you know, the things that they would do. And we even got to see like the different values that that the owners put on the slave. And so each slave, you know, was property of the owner. And then each, you know, each slave had an actual value that was attached to them. So if you guys ever get a chance to go to New Orleans, I recommend going to visit the Oak Alley Plantation and possibly the Whitney Plantation, so that you can get a full view of, you know, everything when it comes to plantations. Also, while we were there at Oak Alley Plantation, we had a chance to visit the Oak Alley restaurant, and we had a chance to visit during brunch time. Like, they were having a brunch, and brunch was so delicious. I had the blackened red fish and some crawfish hush puppies as a side. But with the blackened red fish, it came with rice, and it came with some vegetables, and it came with a little mimosa. You guys know I don't drink, so wasn't really a mimosa for me. It was kind of like just orange juice, but that's perfectly fine as well. The orange juice was delicious. And my daughter, she had the shrimp kids meal. And we did get a chance to taste the pecan pie, I believe. And it was okay. You know, maybe I'm not a sweets person, but it was okay. But the food at the Oak Alley Plantation was delicious. And coming back from Oak Alley Plantation, we got a chance to see some alligators and all of the Mississippi River. It was massive. And we just had a really, really great time on that day. And so on the very next day, it was time for us to leave. So we just booked the airport shuttle to come pick us up from our hotel. And, you know, I forgot all about this. Oh my gosh. So that was the last day. On the last day, we scheduled airport transportation to pick us up. But let's rewind all the way back to the second day. Oh my gosh. On the second day, you guys, we got a chance to do something that we've seen on TV, but we've never really did in person. We got a chance to do Battle of the Bands, you guys. It was Southern State and Grambler, I believe it was Grambler. Southern State and Grambler were battling it out. Gambler, it wasn't Gambler. Let's call it Grambler. If I'm messing it up, I'm so sorry, you guys, but you guys were amazing. It was a Greek show, and it was a Battle of the Bands all together, but oh my gosh, it was amazing to be there, you know, and to experience it firsthand. Little Miss Isabella fell asleep. It's like, how you fall asleep with all of that noise? She fell asleep, you guys. And I got it on video, and she said, oh, I wasn't sleeping. Yeah, you were. You were. She was out cold. So, I mean, she was tired, but that was that. So, we had a ball. We had a complete ball in New Orleans, and I cannot wait to go back. I don't think our stay in New Orleans was long enough. It's a lot of things that we didn't get a chance to experience. We primarily stayed within the French Quarter. French Quarter was right around the corner from our resort, so that's where we spent most of our time if we're not doing a tour. But as I said before, I had a ball in New Orleans, and I cannot wait to come back. So that's going to pretty much wrap up this podcast episode. Once again, if you guys want to reach me about New Orleans or anything in general, you guys know how to reach me. Go ahead and give me a text or a phone call at 813-GO-1-FLY-2 or simple 813-461-3592. If you guys don't want to text message me or give me a call, you can shoot me an email at info@mommyandwe, that's WEE, travels.com. Until our very next episode, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.